How's it going, everyone? Today we're taking a look at the Punkt update in April 2023. As you see right here, we have the daily view, which is an optional feature. This is what we're going to be talking about today. But we are going to be looking into a couple of things. So for example, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is that it does cost a certain amount of money. You can copy this code, DailyView MP02, if you're an MP02 user, and you can sign up right here at API or apostrophe, which is the service that we're going to be using in order to get our calendar. But in my opinion, it's a little bit of a difficulty to do this monthly payment thing. It's a little bit more expensive, especially for a device that is, again, $349. But this is the move that they have decided. So you go to choose your annual payment plan. You will create a code, and I will do this off screen. After you sign up, you have access to a couple of things. First of all, you have a new website that allows you to look into a mail application. So you do have that. You also have contacts that you can get, and you have the calendar feature, which is the one that we're going to be testing. So let's just create a regular event. We're going to create it for tomorrow, May 1st, around this time. And we're going to call it test. So now that you have done this and you have subscribed, again, it was around $50 after the discount. So it gives you a 60% discount. So $50 for calendar, contacts, and mail. You can set this up on your Punkt MP02. So let's check that out. So here we have the MP02, which is the next part of our setup. Again, the MP02 comes with a calendar. But this calendar, I guess, is not private enough or not functional enough because it only shows the dates. And I'll talk about that in my thoughts in just a second. But right here, you go to settings, you go to applications, you go all the way down to manage. And now you have the ability to install DailyView. You don't have to sign up to install DailyView. You can install it without. But in order to use it, you need this subscription of about $6 per month. Or if you pay yearly, about $50 or so on your card, which I think it's not great, but this is what it is, and this is the model that Punkt is using. They're using their other company, which is apostrophe OS. So it says press the Punkt key to access DailyView via the main menu. All right, so we're going to go to DailyView, and you have to log in. So I'm going to log in with my email and password, and then we will be back to see how this looks. After you have logged in with your credentials from api.io, you will have the ability to sync the calendar manually and, of course, have the daily view. I'm going to add a couple of extra events on the other view, as you will see, and then we'll see how it looks for the different events. So now that we have synced the calendar, it shows me my events for today and, of course, 3 more days as they advertise in their daily view. And you can also manually sync. So as you see right here, test, B, and sit are there. Sit doesn't show up on Tuesday. I'm going to assume that that kind of just shows once this sit repetition has been kind of like done, essentially. And you can add details and comments and things of that nature. Now, let me tell you my thoughts as to whether this feature is worth it or not. So let's compare it with another premium device, right? So that's what these two devices are. These are premium devices. They're you're paying a premium for them. They're minimalist devices, and they do have these optional tools like Pigeon and calculators and notes and all of that, right? So the Light Phone 2 has phone, calendar, directions, podcast, music, alarm, hotspot, calculator, notes, and settings. The Punkt MP02 has calendar, even though that's just displaying the calendar right there. It's just displaying the date. It's not actually a calendar. You have clock, notes, calculator, Pigeon, daily view, which is their actual calendar, but you have to pay for it. And then you have Pigeon, which is a secure messenger via Signal, which works half of the time and half of the time doesn't work, in my experience and the experience of others. And they're fixing it. Again, they're going to do a version 2.0, so hopefully that brings a lot of customization. And then that's pretty much it. Light Phone 2 has a couple of extra things like podcast, music, and directions, which do not come on the kind of like Punkt MP02, or they don't have that capability yet. So here we have the calendar view for the Light Phone 2. And the Light Phone 2 has view month, right? Which you can view in advance. And you also have view today. This one only has the today's day and 3 more days, which is more minimal. However, I can add events on this one that will sync with my calendar that I don't have to pay for. And I can sync with Gmail and Apple. And I believe they also have protocols for CalDAV. It's not super reliable, but if it works in your area or with your provider for CalDAV, you can sync it, right? Whereas with Punkt, you have to pay and you have to use their provider, and you kind of have to commit to say like, okay, because I want to make my money worth it, I'm not just going to use their calendar. I'm going to use their contacts, and I'm going to use their also their web mail, right? So if you need a very private email, or if you need a new email and you're willing to pay for it, I think that's an ability. But here you have more options, again, with the Light Phone 2. It's less quote unquote minimal, but it's more options, and you just kind of have an ability to see way further in advance and to plan better. So as a calendar application, I would say this is a good reminder application right here for the Punkt MP02. And if all you want is a good reminder application, you want to do most of your calendar entries online, and you want to sync them manually, and you want to pay them $6 for it after you already paid them $379, then yeah, go for it. I mean, I think it's not a bad idea, and you kind of buy into their ecosystem. But if you want something more open after you already paid that, I don't think this is the best solution. I actually would think if you are on the fence between deciding a Punkt Lite or maybe another provider, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, you can go into the Sunbeam F1. The Sunbeam F1 is $195, way cheaper than these two. And that one has a calendar as well, and it's free. Again, I don't understand why they need to charge for a calendar and a reminder view, essentially, on your phone. And you get email, but you already have email. So are you really going to switch to them for that? Again, it's a little bit of a confusing landscape for me for Punkt right now, especially as they release this for money, it seems to me, not necessarily for the sake of making the user's life better. Because again, this phone already had a calendar. You just needed to unlock it and allow people to use it and to put their whatever they needed to put, instead of forcing them to buy a product from you in order to see a very minimal view with no notifications and no anything. So I'm very confused. Again, I don't necessarily think it's the best idea. I think they could have just unlocked the calendar right here. Let me enter my details, and I don't need to sync it. I can just have it on the phone, like on the Light Phone 2. You don't need to sync stuff on the Light Phone 2. You can just use the Light calendar, which is on the phone. And if you want to sync it, why can I use the calendar that I already have and I have to use your service? I'm very confused by their business move, but again, if they want more revenue, I guess this subscription makes more sense after they already charge you a premium for the phone. There's still a lot of outstanding issues, like no group text messages, not even through Pigeon, which is Signal. No other actual features that allow you to use the phone more reliably on the go. And just a lot of other fixes that they need to do. Again, this is just my thoughts. If it's helpful to you and you have a Punkt MP02, yeah, for sure. Go pay them $6 for a minimal view of your upcoming week and sync through their calendar, change all of your calendar entries, and restart again with their email as well in order to maximize your money. But for $6 or $15 if you don't get the discount, I just don't think it's worth it. These are just my opinions, and hopefully we can discuss more in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.